The Glory Reds FC. It's your boy Don Benito, and today we got the match preview against Nottingham Forest, my people. Yeah. It's that time of the week again. End of the week. Um, Weekend. Sorry, not end of the week. Weekend. Football galore, and we have a cracker against Nottingham Forest. Now I know I said a cracker. And a lot of you are going to be like thinking, Ben, what do you mean a cracker? We're playing against Nottingham Forest. We're playing Nottingham Forest at home. This Nottingham Forest that is there right now is a different Nottingham Forest that we played. The one that we played in the beginning, the first leg of the season, was difficult. We struggled. We won that game 3-2. We were down 2 goals the beginning of, I don't know how long, like in the beginning of the game, like we were down 2 goals. So but you know what? At the same time, there's an explanation for it. For us, we we had a very poor start to the season. It was terrible. The preseason, for some reason, I think it affected the players or something. But when we played Nottingham Forest, we were not at our best. Now things have changed. Nottingham Forest have gone through this. They've been doing quite well for themselves. They've been playing the big boys. They've been handling themselves. They are still one of the like in the bottom half of the league. However, they have shown signs of rejuvenation. They've just recently signed Nuno Espiritu Santo, who was formerly at Tottenham and Watford. Wolves, what the hell is wrong with me? He's at Nottingham Forest, and the players are going through a new manager bounce back. He's a player that I'm assuming that the players trust because he's been in the Premier League. And his first game taking in charge, they did very, very well. They've got a couple of key players in there. They've also been dealt difficult cards by the referees this season. And United, on the other hand, yes, we started off slow, like everyone, like you all know. We've had a very poor start to the season. We're now in the middle of it, and things are still shaky. However, we are finding our feet. We are slowly getting into some sort of let me choose my words right. I don't want to say consistency, but we're sort of getting into some sort of flow of things. Um, the game against Aston Villa was just one of those that if we are to play against Nottingham Forest the way we played against Aston Villa, then we shouldn't be worried. We literally shouldn't be worried because we will take Nottingham Forest down. Now, a lot is happening. Onana with the African Cup of Nations, we are now waiting to see BND. I don't know if it is a good idea to bring in BND at this point because a lot of this has happened. The defenders are not used to him. But anyway, we're gonna get into it. My, I want to talk about what I think, how I think the manager should play this game, and I believe, I believe the starting lineup that he started with against Aston Villa, that one was alright, but we need to put certain people back in their positions. You know what I mean? So I don't know if Harry Maguire is fit. I don't know if Lindelof is fit, but I don't mind. I don't mind having Evans and Varane in that centre back pairing. They did very well against Aston Villa. Um, Left back, I would have Luke Shaw. Right back, listen, there's this big debate that's going on even in our group where it's like the fan base is torn between Wan Bissaka and Diego Dalot. So for me, at this point, I'm just glad that we have two right backs that can interchange, that bring different styles or different dynamism to the team. So I'm okay with it. So whether you start Wan Bissaka or Dalot, because I am sick and tired of this conversation. We've been going into this debate about who's better between Dalot and Wan Bissaka. And I just want to get it clear right now, here. I think Wan Bissaka is a typical textbook right back, old school right back. One-on-one duels, tackling, he's right up there with the very best. It's just that we are not performing like the very best team. But then Wan Bissaka, he should be given a shout to one of the best right backs in the world because of his attributes. Diego Dalot is okay right back, but he's a very good at fullback. Like he going forward is amazing. He has this weird um I don't know how to describe it. It's like when you watch Dalo, it's like when you want him to put in a good cross, he doesn't put it. When he puts in a good cross, it is a waste. It's like it goes to nobody. There's no purpose. It's like he's forcing it, you know? And you don't get a lot of those from somebody who is tipped like, oh, one of the like good fullback. Whereas for Wan Bissaka, yes, I know Wan Bissaka for some reason he's not easy on the eye for some people. People don't like his style of play. People say he's awkward. I get that. But then fuck awkwardness and yes to results. And Wan Bissaka does that. Wan Bissaka, one on one at the back, he covers his thing. You never get away with it when it comes to Spider. His long legs will always grapple, tip the ball a little bit. Going forward, I can honestly say with my chest that I think Wan Bissaka is improved going forward. Because even if you look at the stats right now, I'm pretty sure that Wan Bissaka and Dalot have got the same assists. Maybe Dalot has got more goals, but then the assists they're the same. And then you look at okay, what is the point of screaming about Dalot, Dalot, Dalot when he doesn't provide a lot of assists? It's a, he's a good on the eye fullback. He's just somebody that you prefer to have instead of Wan Bissaka, which I get. So I'm not gonna have too much to say on that right back situation. Whether you put Dalot, you put Wan Bissaka, it's cool. I would rather you start Wan Bissaka because with Wan Bissaka, you are guaranteed that that right flank or whoever it is, it doesn't matter who it is, Salah, Cole Palmer, Vinicius, Rodrigo, it doesn't matter. Wan Bissaka will handle that. Dalot has got his weaknesses. He does. Like I honestly don't understand why he's still a right back. I honestly think he should be converted. Managers have been doing this for years. Why are we not doing it? Convert Dalot and make him a winger. Let's get this over and done with, and then we stop this debate. Anyway, then in that midfield, I don't want to see Scott McTominay. I'm sorry, I do not want to see Scott McTominay for reasons. I mean, the main reason is because of the way we played against Aston Villa. You know what I mean? We played very very well against Aston Villa, and it's just one of those things of like Ericsson, Kobe Manu, that was perfect with Bruno. Bruno was didn't have that urgency to always be at the back. He had Kobe Manu had somebody next to him supporting him, somebody with a brain, somebody who has got experience in Ericsson. He did very, very well. That midfield was not. If we put Scott McTominay in there, we are again allowing ourselves to have a passenger on the pitch. We can't afford that. What is the point of having a starting 11, then have players, then have a starting 11, but then there are 10 players? When I say 10 players, I'm like, there's that one player that's just not doing what you want him to do. You understand? Up front, here's where it's going to get tricky. Here's where there's going to be a lot of controversy. I don't know what you might feel, but this is what I think. Now, obviously, Garnacho and Rashford have been playing. They played very, very well. Rashford, um, with Rashford, because I expect so much from him, because he is an academy player, somebody that has been in the club for years. I really expected a lot from him. That's why I've been hard on him this season. He's not scored. He hasn't provided assists. He's pretty much a waste man, and it's annoying. So when I saw that game, the game against Aston Villa, I was pleased that he wasn't the Rashford that normally plays, where he's very selfish. He was looking for his players. I was very pleased about that. But for me, it still wasn't enough for him to get back into this team. he has done so much damage that I believe that he still needs to bench. He still needs to realize that this first team, everybody needs to fight for their positions. It shouldn't be one of those things where he picks and chooses when he wants to be on it. That's my thing. That is where I am with this Rashford situation. So, but at the same time, I feel like Garnacho needs to be rested because we don't want another situation where we're overplaying a youngster and then he picks up injuries. That is a big deal. You look at teams like you look at teams like Barcelona, Pedri. At one point, they abused him. Not abused him in that way, but they overplayed him. Started picking up injuries. Ansu Fati broke into the scene, was playing a lot, picked up injuries. Young players, you need to protect them. If they start picking up injuries at a very, very young age, it starts this weird side. And I've noticed this with youngsters. Just pay attention to the young ballers that are coming up. The longevity that we think they're going to have, or we think they should have, like with the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and everybody, they're not going to have it. They're not going to have it because we're overplaying them. So in that sense, I would like Garnacho to be rested. Maybe he can come on because he's been playing consistently. But either way, I don't mind whether you play Rashford because I'm not the gaffer. You know what I mean? I would like Rashford to bench for the sole fact that he needs to realize that he's in a privileged place. He shouldn't take these games for granted. You understand? If Rashford starts against Nottingham Forest, I'm expecting nothing but a top performance. I will not accept him reverting back to him not passing, him doing all that. I will not. I will not. I will not accept it because this is where I'm at right now with Rashford. He gives you a 2 minute, one game he gives you a special performance, and the other game he just decides that he's not going to be on it. I can't accept that. So that is why I'm really torn by my front three. Hoyland, please give that man his number 9. Give that man his position back. He scored a beautiful goal against Aston Villa. I'm only expecting more from him. Like, I hope that goal galvanized him. I hope that goal has ignited that fire that we expected him to have because we really need Hoyland to get scoring. We are in the top 6 or top 7, I think, and no, top 6, and our goal difference is not looking pretty again, just like last season. Last season we were like that team that is, when I look at how um last season's how we ended up last season. So last season we had so much goals, and I'm sorry, we had won, didn't lose a lot of games, drew, blah blah blah. But the thing that stood out was our goal difference. Our goal difference was so poor. It was very bad compared to everybody else that was in that tier. And I remember thinking Manchester United are in this top 4, like in this like years I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll feel no evil, because they were right up there with everybody else. But then the goals were so bad, and if it reached the point now we're now talking head to head because the points are the same, who are not going to win? And we're back at that again this season. We're back at it. We can't afford this stuff. We can't afford this. We need to go up there and score goals. We need to score goals, guys. We need to score goals. So in that front three, after saying all of that, I would like to see Rasmus Højlund up top. I would actually start Garnacho. Yeah, because I know I just preached about protecting him, but I would start Garnacho. I don't know if he's picked up anything, but he was knackered with that game because he gave everything. Now I think because of that he might. Okay, so I'll start Rashford. I'll start Rashford on the left, and on the right I'll put Anthony or Facundo or Ahmad, because I remember the gaffer said that Ahmad should be back. So yeah, get Ahmad back in there. Now I wanted to talk about Altay BND because we are now approaching the part or the time when Onana is about to leave for the AFCON. shouldn't we start wanting or demanding to see BND play? Because I don't want a situation where now Onana has obviously gone. Then obviously now we are left with BND. He's the number two. We put him in there, and then it's like a deer on the road in the headlights. He's scared. Stage fright. Doesn't understand what he's doing. Doesn't understand what's going on. And then we have to start building again trust, being patient with a player. I'm tired of being patient. All this stuff, like we haven't seen BND, and this is all up to the manager and the coaching staff. Them not giving this player the game time is purely their fault. If he comes on and he's rusty, I don't want to hear anybody going in on Alte BND. I don't want to hear anybody saying he's a useless Turkish. I don't want, because that is exactly how I see things happening. People are going to, there's this expectation in their head. People are going to be thinking that, he's been in the club now. Hey, he should be playing. He needs to do this. No. If he comes on and he gets smashed and he makes silly mistakes, I don't want to hear it from you fans, United fans. I don't want to hear it. We should take it to who? The Gaffer and the coaching staff and everybody else. We don't blame BND. We don't. He's been sitting there rusting. Football players need to play. It is one of those things. It is an unspoken rule. A football player needs to play. In order for him to get better, he needs to play. He needs to run, he needs to kick a ball, he needs to feel that physical contact with the opposition. He needs to make those sprints, he needs to save, he needs to be put in those scenarios where all his senses are activated. Some of his senses right now are dormant because he hasn't been given that opportunity to do that. So I don't want to hear it if he has a bad game or if he doesn't do well. I really don't want to hear it. So that's the starting lineup that I would like to see. Onana, I'm saying Onana because I think he's still there. I want Wan Bissaka, so I'll put Wan Bissaka there. Then I'll have Varane, Evans. I'm not too sure what's going on with um, Maguire, but if he's fit, I'll pair him up with Varane. Luke Shaw as well. I'm not sure. I don't know if he's sick or if he's injured or something. I'm not too sure. He too, I would like to have him start. And then in that midfield, I would have Kobe Mainu and Ericsson with Bruno in the number 10 position. Left, I'll have Garnacho. Right, I'll have Anthony. Up top, I'll have Hoyland. I think I think that is a good one. Yeah. Onana, Wan Bissaka, Varane, Maguire, but that is if Maguire is fit. Luke Shaw, that is if Luke Shaw is fit. Then Mainu, Ericsson, Bruno, Garnacho, Hoyland, Anthony. That is my starting lineup. That's the one that I would like to see. I think that one works well. I think it works better. There are a lot of hungry players in there. Garnacho has been absolutely amazing of late, and we need to keep on supporting him, pushing him, and getting him into those zones. Um, Kobe Mainu is also another one, stand-up performer. I just can't imagine our team without Kobe Mainu. It's ridiculous, and I know it is crazy to put so much pressure on a kid as young as him, but it has been a while. It has been an absolute while where we've had a player where you just absolutely trust. You just know that with him on that pitch, like just like Casemiro. Casemiro is one of those. It even boggles me that we are thinking about letting him go after we spent so much money getting him from Real Madrid on the contract that he's in, and then now we're thinking about letting him go. Like, where is our mind? Keep Casemiro. You use Casemiro until the wheels fall off. Are you kidding? That guy, he's not. He's old, yes, but he is. CDMs. They don't need to be young. Like, class is permanent. With especially with a player like Casemiro. So I honestly don't want to see Casemiro leave, and if he's there, Kobe Manu. Oh my God. Because now Kobe Manu, now we will start to see a different side of him because Casemiro is going to allow him to go forward, come back, go forward. So maybe we're going to get to see Kobe experience his full potential of being a box to box or a holding midfielder. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. The Butcher, I can't wait for him to come back because we need that balance in that left back. I talked about I talked about having Licha and Casemiro back in the previous episode. I'm like, a lot of teams this season figured that our midfield is weak, and if they want to get through to us, they just need to bulldoze, like blitzkrieg kind of bullshit. Just come at us, and they know that we don't have anybody supporting our back line. And again, we allow people to come to us, and then when we allow them to get into our final third, and then when they're now close to the box, we can't make challenges because we could give a foul, cause a penalty. But then with Casemiro and the Butcher, and I think a lot of you will agree with me, one thing that we noticed about them when they came into United, especially last season, it was that thing of stopping players on their tracks. I love that thing. I love the interception. I love that thing of a player. Before a player can receive the ball, the defender is right up against them, disturbing him, causing him problems. With the midfielders that we've had, like Scott McTominay, he allows the opposition to come at him. He allows them to either do a step over or something to beat him, and then he takes a fall. It makes no sense. But with Casemiro, he stops people in their tracks. And I think Kobe Manu is going to learn a lot playing from Casemiro. It's brilliant. And then you have Ericsson there. It allows us now to interchange. If now the Gaffer doesn't feel like Anthony, he can always put Bruno on the right. I don't want it that like that, but imagine having Ericsson up in the number 10 position, Kobe Menu, Casemiro, and then Bruno on that right flank. However, Bruno has got license to come in and move around. I don't want him in the wing per se, but I'm just saying to accommodate players, to accommodate Ericsson, Bruno, Casemiro, and Kobe Manu. That's my way of, that's my fantasy wicked way of trying to accommodate all these players. It makes no sense, but yeah. And obviously, if you take Bruno and you put him on the right, you're making him useless. You know what I mean? You're taking him out of the game. So yeah, I can only see good things coming from Manchester United, ladies and gentlemen. I really do. Like I always say and I preach, the manager he can sack himself. He will sack himself. And by that I mean he will pick the wrong players, pick the wrong starting lineup, he'll put the wrong players in the right position. You put the wrong players in the wrong positions. And we used to do that. And it's funny, a lot of managers suffer from this. They'll put a team that makes no sense, even to the fans. Go and win the game. Now, to the fans, we know that yes, we won the game, we appreciate it, but that's not the right way because you will be found out. You will be called out down the line. And hence, we were found out. We were. West Ham, they they found us out. And not that a lot of teams didn't find us out, they did. But now they exploited it. Now, Scott McTominay is a brilliant sub. Honestly, if you bring Scott McTominay and you tell him that, listen, mate, we need you, we need you to go and cause problems up top. Just bombard the attack, bombard that box. Bro, bro, bro. We will have a serious player on our hands. But if we start him in that position, in that midfield position, in net bench, people like Amrabat and I don't know, I was about to say Donny van de Beek, but he's about to leave. But you understand where I'm coming with that. If we do that, then we are just digging our own grave. But I have this strange feeling that the Gaffer might start Scott McTominay because of his height and The reason is because Nottingham Forest have got quite tall players, if I'm not mistaken. I think Willie Bolly. Well, he's the only one that I just. He's the only one that I can remember. But they do have strong players. They've got Elanga there. They've got Hudson Odoi. They've got Gibbs White. They've got players that are on it. And I actually wanted to give a quick shout out to Anthony Elanga. He was deemed surplus to requirement. At United, we didn't really need his services. And the weird thing is, when the way I see him play right now, it's almost like I want to say we made a mistake, but no, we didn't make a mistake because Alanga at the time, with the players that we had in that on that team, it just it made sense. Now whether we should have sold him is where I'll be like, maybe we should have maybe loaned him out just so that we can see what he can do when he's out there, and then we would have seen the potential that he has right now. And then with the useless front players that we've had this season, pull him back. Just like Greenwood. I really want Greenwood back. Like, thank you, Sir Jim, for saying something that I read the other day that it gave me hope. It gave me power. I read an article where Sir Jim talked about Mason Greenwood's situation. He was like, everybody knows that Greenwood is a talent, he's a top player, and Manchester United are going to do everything in their power to handle that situation. The way I read it, it was almost like, listen, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that this Greenwood um, situation is handled the right way. The way I felt it, it's like maybe Greenwood will come back. I would love him to come back. We need Greenwood back. Trust me, we need Greenwood back. And I'm saying, I'm not even going to take it from all you other people that are going to start. Oh, Greenwood did this. Yeah, it's in the past. I think everybody else is over it. He's out there in Spain doing his thing, scoring goals, providing assists. He's back. And I'm sure that he's remorseful, and I'm sure he'll never do it again. Let's get Greenwood back to this Manchester United side and let's see ourselves elevate. Because Manchester United, regardless of what is going on, the Glazers or whatever, if we have certain players in our team, this team can go far. Let us not allow Mason Greenwood to go to Real Madrid or Barcelona. Please. Because if he leaves from Getafe, we are going to sit here and cry. Believe. You'll go back to this video and say, oh my God, Benito was preaching that day. He took over from Pastor D and was preaching a sermon. Get Greenwood back. Get him back. If he's on loan even right now, let's get him back. I know. Okay, maybe it might be a little bit too early, but you get my point. You get my point. Let's get back. Let's get Greenwood back into this team. Ahmad Diallo, we've got players at United. We keep on complaining about other players, but we have players. So let's get these boys in. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for taking your time to listen to this Glory Reds episode. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys are feeling. Remember, I said that Manchester United will progress. We will do better. Everybody is complaining about us, saying that we are down there. People are laughing at us getting beat. You look at Tottenham yesterday, they got smashed by Brighton. Now, people are going to say that Tottenham are weak. No, Bissouma wasn't on that pitch. Papasar wasn't on that pitch. Romero wasn't on that pitch. Van de Heek wasn't on that pitch. Bro, they are missing a lot of players. Main players. You understand what I mean? Arsenal, same thing. A couple of players that are there that need to be. A lot of Man City are not where they should be because KDB is not there. They've been having this up and down. Stones is injured. Diaz is injured. This player comes in, next thing he's injured. But when it comes to Manchester United, no, nobody wants to accept that we are performing badly because we don't have our full starting lineup. For God's sake, this Manchester United side came third, won a trophy, went to a final. How do people still think that we are weak? How? We've just had a poor start to the season. We've just had a poor beginning to the season. Players, injuries, it has just been bad, but it's looking up. And now the weirdest thing is I don't think the injuries are going to stop. For not for us, not for anybody, not other teams, But the good thing is that those that have been out for a long time are going to come back, and by the time they can come back to the team, they're going to help us. They're going to help us push the last stretch of the season, you know. So I'm really, really excited about that. I believe in this Manchester United squad. I believe in the Gaffer, even though he can be frustrated. I do believe him. Remember, I said I trust this man with my life. I do. Give him time. Let's keep on supporting these boys. Let's be behind them. The supporters at home, away fans, we salute you. Thank you for galvanizing these players. Thank you for not allowing them to be complacent. Don't accept it. Don't accept them to turn down tools. Don't. If you feel like these guys are there, boo them. They need to understand that they're playing for us. They are playing for us. We are the ones that are making this thing happen. So they need to play for us. So shout out to the away fans. Tomorrow's game, we need you guys to be there, doing your thing and helping push our boys. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Please catch us on our YouTube. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can get your content when we upload stuff. You will get a notification. Subscribe, and thank you, my people. Peace.